foremost, we'd like to thank everyone for attending our 2012 KONY debate. It means a great deal that you are all here. Today we will be discussing the pros and cons of the KONY 2012 movement and why one should or should not support the issue. For the affirmative, we have Kelsey and Josie, and for the negative, who disclaim the movement, we have Jeff and Kevin. For a preview of the debate, we are part of the School of Communication, and we are currently in the Communication and Critical Thinking class, also known as KON 2012. Today we are focused on what exactly the KONY movement is and why it should or should not be supported, and what the alternatives one can take. This is an educational debate, so there will be no winners or losers. This debate does not necessarily reflect the students' views or opinions of the topic. Now I will introduce our Kelsey, who will be taking the first affirmative stance.
Each and every day, countless number of children's lives are destroyed by Joseph KONY. KONY is the leader of the Lord's Resistance Army, a Ugandan guerrilla group whose violence has plagued a nation for over 2 decades. Over the course of the past 20 years, it is estimated that the LRA has taken over 65,000 children from their homes. The boys are forced to mutilate and kill, while the girls are held captive as sex slaves. KONY believes himself to be a spiritual medium on a mission from God, and has used his holy persona to create an air of fear and mysticism as he leads the rebel group on a path of destruction, BBC 12. He considers his role in life to cleanse the people of his nation, when in reality he is destroying the people of his nation, with acts such as the Christmas massacre of 2008 that left 800 people dead and hundreds of children abducted. KONY is single-handedly responsible for this crime and others similar, leaving him as the #1 most wanted criminal on the International Criminal Court's list for crimes against humanity, BBC 12. The KONY 2012 movement, created by members of the nonprofit group Invisible Children, aims at bringing infamy to Joseph KONY, making him a household name in hopes that if enough people are aware of the situation in Uganda, it will inspire the world to take action. For 1 year alone, in 2012, his name will be plastered all over the internet, magazines, newspapers, and streets. Already, this movement is one of the fastest growing in history. No other organization has the sheer number of supporters that this movement has gained in the past couple months. People all over the world are coming together to bring down a man whose immoral actions are comparable, if not worse, to those of Adolf Hitler. The KONY movement has reached out to several influential policymakers whose support could result in the United States taking action. To this day, many people across the world remain unaware of KONY and the invisible children who live in a constant state of fear, KONY 12. This movement has brought his injustices to light and has sparked an action in millions to end his reign of terror, and we must show our support. The KONY movement has an amazing video that portrays the life of a young boy named Jacob, who has seen firsthand the horror and detriment that Joseph KONY has inflicted upon his country. Within the KONY 2012 video, created by Jason Russell, co-founder of Invisible Children, Jacob confesses, "We worry, the rebels, when they arrest us again, they will kill us. My brother tried to escape, they killed him, they cut his neck, I saw it." KONY 12. Jacob and the other children in his town fear that if they spend the night in their own homes, they will wake up to find themselves being abducted, dragged from their bed and their family, robbed of their childhood. Instead, they seek shelter at night, forced to sleep on the floor, huddled in fear, because this nightmare is their reality. KONY and the Lord's Resistance Army strike such fear and anguish in the hearts of these young children that they have given up their will to live. Jacob, within the video, states, "It is better when you kill us. We don't want to stay. No one is taking care of us." KONY 12. Jacob was not saying that he doesn't want to stay in Uganda. He does not want to stay on Earth. These children, who rarely cross our minds, need our help. We cannot sit by and watch as an entire population is killed off one by one. We have a moral obligation to restore their will to live and remove the fear that plagues their lives. We truly feel that this is the best movement to support due to the increasing awareness it is bringing to the world. The people who created this movement are ones who have been to Uganda and have seen the devastation firsthand. They are the people who have dedicated their entire lives to helping the children of Uganda overcome their misfortune by providing constant emotional and financial support. As we sit here now in this classroom, we know that our lives are safe. We will go to sleep tonight without fear that we may never see tomorrow. We are extremely lucky to have been born and raised in a nation where this type of destruction and violence would never be tolerated. For the children of Uganda, the safety, freedom, and comfort that we take for granted is something that they can only dream of. By supporting the KONY 2012 movement, you are shedding light upon these children who have remained hidden for so long, providing them with the hope that someone out there cares, that someone out there sees this injustice and is willing to take a stand out of moral obligation alone.
some of Kelsey's points, you now know who KONY is, that he is the leader of the Lord's Resistance Army in Uganda, Africa. He is kidnapping and forcing young boys to rebel and kill, and young girls to have as sex slaves. The KONY 2012 movement has been created to spread awareness about a situation in Uganda and help bring a stop to it. Through the creation of the KONY 2012 video, Jason Russell has spread awareness worldwide. We were introduced to Jacob, a survivor of KONY, and are given an insight into the daily lives of those children fighting. The affirmative simply asks and suggests that the KONY movement be supported. Next, we will hear from Jeff, who will discuss why one should not support KONY 2012.
KONY 2012 is a movement and a product of the Invisible Children. Invisible Children is a controversial activist group and a non-for-profit organization. They have also released 11 films by which we merch off of, and we link to their videos, and we put posters linking to their websites, and we support their organization. This is not a good thing. First off, there are many reasons why the KONY project is a bad and has set horrible examples for many organizations in the future. The first major reason I would like to hit on is that it has bad publicity. Money and fame is falling into the wrong hands of the wrong people. The publicity has a major role in the involvement of how well this movement works. Major corporations are taking advantage of the movement and trying to show support when all they want is a piece of the public's eye, Justice and Conflict Bureau. The worst part of this is the wrong spending of the financial aspect, as according to the justiceofconflict.org, the money being raised for the KONY project was speculated that its use has gone to far more than what it was initially intended to, according to Don Spickman. The USA's involvement in the KONY project should have started years before it did, 3au.org. This slow involvement has allowed many organizations to take advantage of the publicity and create networks to generate more money for themselves. The USA has been helping the situation in small doses, but has not put forth the effort that they should, according to the Justice and Bureau conflict. The lack of any major involvement financially has resulted in no reconstruction or ordinance and has caused this problem to explode. The KONY campaign to make the world aware of Joseph KONY and force international action to capture him has been the passion of greedy American filmmaker John Russell for the past 7 years, 3au.org. This article is proof that people who could care less about the actual situation have involved themselves in financial reasons. It is disturbing that someone can move on to a situation for financial gain and not actually care about the major issue. The use of this movie has not only brought in uncounted amounts of money, but fame for people who do not deserve it. This money is going to spreading awareness while the African children bleed of hunger every day, Justice and Bureau conflict. The money from the KONY project needs to be spent more on the invisible children and on its awareness than on the major corporations who benefit from its publicity. Also, this campaign is not the only one spreading awareness and creating donations. There are multiple other organizations that are doing a better job at getting the money to the invisible children, Journal of African Media Studies. It is clear that money being spent from the KONY project is being used in a selfish, insufficient way, and there are better objective ways to do so. According to the research I found in peer-reviewed articles in well-renowned journals, I feel confident that there are many other ways to go about the KONY movement and that there are many other different situations that this can be handled. Even if it means taking a different approach or if it means donating through a different organization, according to the Justice Conflict Bureau, the KONY movement has uncounted millions that have gone on to proceed and benefit people outside the organization and outside the organization's purposes. African Journal. If we were to donate to other organizations or spend our time and money on other sources, there may be more done for these invisible children who under the KONY project remain silent. Last year, the organization spent over $8 million and only 32% went directly to services. African Journal. The group is in favor of direct military intervention, and their money supports the Uganda government's army and various other military forces. So how could we possibly stand here today and say that we support the KONY movement when there are so many other movements that we could support?